fellow adventurers. Today we are going to talk about how to reach your goals. Maybe there have been things that you've wanted to do in the past and you just weren't able to get there. So let's talk about some of those reasons and what we can do about them. So first of all, you want to reach a goal. And the thing that really hangs people up is you have to get started. Why don't we get started when we have a goal? For example, when I talk about my YouTube channel, many people will say, I want to start a YouTube channel and I have an idea, and their ideas are good ideas, and yet they haven't started the channel. Why is that? Because getting started, doing this in front of a camera, is not always the easiest thing to just start doing. You see yourself, and there's a lot of feelings about that. But you know what? The key is to just get started. It's the same thing I said in my video about learning how to surf. The first thing you have to do to learn to surf is to get in the water, okay? So what is your goal? Ask yourself that question, think about it, and then say to yourself, I need to get in the water, okay? Step 1, just get started. Don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about step 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, where you're thinking so far ahead that finally you just decide I'm not going to do it, it's too much work, okay? That's overthinking, so don't do that. Those are things that really hang people up, right? Getting started and overthinking. So don't do those things. Another thing that is somewhat of a barrier to starting our goals is there are a lot of choices. We live in a quite safe and privileged time in human history where many of us all over the world have multiple choices that we can make, and all of those choices are good choices. They have the opportunity that we could succeed, we can be happy, so it's very difficult to narrow in and make a choice. And once we do that, it's very difficult to stick with our choice. Even when maybe things get difficult and we can look at something else, we start to go down that path. Or even if we're focused, it can be difficult to stick with our choice. So some tips for sticking with your choice and focusing are, there are a lot of things that you may want to do. There are probably many things you love to do. Like I work with some college students, and a lot of the problems that I see with them is they just get tired of studying. They want to make money, or they want to adventure, or they want to do something else, right? But if you want to get a college degree, you have to go to class regularly and you have to spend time every single day on your classes. If you do that, you will get your degree. That means you might have to sacrifice some things. Sometimes you have to sacrifice big things and you decide the sacrifices aren't worth it. And that's okay, but then you cannot look back on your life and say, I regret that I didn't get that degree. I should have this or I should have that. You need to come to terms with your decisions, okay? So sometimes people don't reach their goals because they can't focus. How can we avoid these things that I've mentioned and then make them better? Okay, so first of all, we're just going to get started. That's how you're going to reach your goals. Decide what step 1 is, and you just start doing step 1. Then you're not going to overthink it. You're not going to talk yourself out of it or tell yourself a story like, well, if I don't do it, it's okay because, so-and-so in my family was no good at this or that, and I'm probably not going to be good anyway. Don't sabotage yourself with those types of stories. If there's something that you want, you can do it. Go out and do it, and don't overthink it. And then the third thing that we talked about was maintain focus to completion of your goal. It took me a very long time to feel like I even could paddle out to the break when I was surfing, okay? It's very difficult some days, and some days it just pushes and pushes, and I don't always make it every day. That can be discouraging, but you know what? That's how life is, right? You keep paddling and paddling and paddling beyond the challenges that you have, and eventually you get where you want. So don't give up, because you can reach your goals.